When people are looking for land for sale in Skagit Valley, Washington, one of the most popular areas I'm always asked about is Bow. And I'm super excited to walk this 2.2 acre property that's on the market here in Bow. It's amazing. So let's go walk this property. This is right where I think the driveway is going to come in here. We're at the end of the road. One of the most important things you want to pay attention to with the land is what the access is like. And this cul-de-sac right here that I'm standing on is actually paved. So access is super easy. You're coming right into the property here. You can see it's nicely cleared with trees in the back, a nice big cedar tree right in the middle. So this is where I think the driveway is gonna run in. Oh, and power right here at the corner of the property too. That's something you wanna pay attention to is, do you already have power on the property? Does it need to be run? This property has got power right here at the corner. So you're gonna dig a trench up your driveway and connect it right to your building site. Look at those views out here. We're down at the bottom of the property. You can even see out to the Chuckanut Bay, or that's probably the Samish Bay here, the Chuckanut Bay to the north. This is a beautiful area. This is actually the last buildable lot in the neighborhood here. All these properties are like 2-3 acres. This is the Sunset Creek community, and this family that's selling this property has actually had it for like 30 years, and they're finally just never ended up building on it and deciding to give someone else a chance to make their dream come true. Okay, let's point out as we're walking up here, this pile of rocks. You might be wondering, why is there a pile of rocks in the middle of this lot? And this is where the wellhead is. So there is a drilled well on the property. It's got water. That's super important. You obviously need water, but a lot of people don't think of that until it's too late. Especially here in the Skagit Valley. My name is Seth Pike. I'm a local realtor here. I've been doing this for almost 20 years in Skagit Valley. Bow is one of my favorite areas. So if you are interested in getting land here, if you're interested in seeing this property, let me know. My info is below, or schedule a consultation with me. I'm happy to show you other properties in the area. But this is one of the best ones available right now. And a little side note here about wells. This well is totally fine. It's usable, but some wells in Skagit County are not so lucky. They're impacted by what's called the Skagit in-stream flow rule, which is a big part of the Skagit River Basin. There's a huge section of the county where wells, if they weren't in use prior to 2001, you can't use them. I'm actually thinking about doing another video on this, so if that's something you'd be interested in, put some comments below. I'm curious what your thoughts are, if anyone would be interested in learning more about the in-stream flow rule that affects wells here in Skagit County. And then subscribe to the channel, and if people want to see it, I'll do a video about that, and we'll have one of those later. If you are wanting to get more information about wells, I can tell you this one, just because I've already looked up the records, is about 120 feet deep and 20 gallons per minute. If you're looking at information for wells, you go to the Washington State Department of Ecology and you can look up this map. It shows you a bunch of dots on it where wells are. The tricky thing is it doesn't show you all the wells. Sometimes one dot covers multiple wells, but that's another point. Just go to the Department of Ecology, or make sure to ask someone about the water on a property before you're buying it. Super important to know, and I'm just pointing that out because I've heard horror stories of people buying property and then not being able to get water or have trouble getting water, and that's not gonna be a problem here. You've got great water. That's the point of this property. You've got a great well, and that's what's under these rocks here. I think this is where I would run the driveway up on sort of the, I guess they were on the east, sort of on like the southeast side of the property. You could run a driveway, easily cut in the road right here up this. I mean, that's just not even a half day of work with a good machine. You're running a driveway up here. And that's something that's important to think about. I can tell you from personal experience that a lot of properties are harder to cut driveways in than others. I happen to be working on one right now that required like 100 grand of excavation work to just get the driveway cut in and packed up and dig out the foundation hole. What I love about this property is that it's not completely flat, which is good. It's slightly sloped, so you get the view, but super easy to work on. This property would just be a dream to cut out the foundation and develop, and it's been maintained nicely. The grass is all, the owners keep the grass cut nicely. Man, look at those views. Incredible. So someone is going to be lucky, whoever gets this property here. We're looking out at Anacortes off to the west, and the San Juan Islands, and the Samish Bay out there. This land in Bow is where it's at. I've seen a lot of properties here in the Bow area, and there are a few that I like as well as this one. I can just tell you that. Okay, let's keep walking up back further. We're going towards the trees here, and this is all on the property. The property line is running to my right here, about 20 feet over there. It goes up into the trees, and then it goes back for a little ways up into the trees. So you even got some woods on this property. I wouldn't cut into those and build if it were me. I'd probably be running the road right up here that we were walking along, and then curve into somewhere in this vicinity for the main building site. You definitely want to leave this awesome cedar tree here and the cedar tree back there. You could probably do a garage off over here to the right, and then maybe have that attached at an angle to a house that you're just coming in here. I definitely have kind of like a pull-in area, so people could do a little turnaround driveway and then walk into the entrance of the home. And look at this. Can you imagine? Man, this is your entry right here. You're walking in through your front door, and you're just going straight in here to like the main living area, and look at that view. This is definitely where I put the main building site for the house right here. And speaking of building a house, this is very, very ballpark, but if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about, well, what would it cost me to build a home here? You're running very rough, but a property like this, you could build a nice home around 300 a square foot, maybe a little bit more than that. So I think you buy this property for 400 grand, you build a 3,000 square foot home for $300 a square foot, 900 grand, let's say $1 million, you're into 1.4 million for a brand new 3,000 square foot home on this property. That would be, you could find nothing like that in this area. All right, we're actually at the edge of the property here on the community walking trail for Sunset Creek. And I thought I'd point this out because there's a couple miles of walking trails that go all the way up through the woods. And then you can see behind me here, they go back in through the neighborhood and out and around. And it's like a couple mile loop for the community. And that's all for the homeowners that live up here. But let's go take a walk on this trail for a minute. Oh, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We've got some great videos on communities here in the Skagit Valley, one of those being the Bow Edison community that this property is in. And we just filmed that one. That's going to be up soon. So check that out. We're on the walking trail, but we're looking back towards this section, which is all kind of a buffer of trees that's at the very back of this 2.2 acre parcel here. It's August, so that means blackberries are in season here in Western Washington, and you have no shortages of good blackberries here on this property, up on the back end of it here. You hear the train tracks way in the distance. They're down in the valley. That's actually, the Bow community was founded on a logging railroad encampment here in the late 1800s is where homesteaders first settled in Bow. Can you imagine being the first people to live here and come to this perfect paradise. Speaking of Bo Edison, we are about 70 miles north of Seattle. So if you're looking to get out of the city and you're thinking, okay, 1.5 million can barely get me a condo in Seattle, and for 1.5 million, I could get this land and build an amazing home right here on this property. I don't know why anyone would not want to do that. Especially if you could work from home, if you got like a commute where, you know, the drive's probably an hour and a half into Seattle here, if you only had to go into the office a couple times a week, or if you're close to being retired, man, this is the dream property here. And check out this view. I mean, absolutely incredible, and it's even starting to clear up a little bit. When we first got here, there's a little bit of a smoke and a haze in the air. That's because it's August, and you know what, a couple weeks out of the year, you're gonna have this smoky haze from eastern Washington that drifts over to western Washington. I thought of maybe putting off doing this part of the video today, but hey, you gotta know the good and the bad and the ugly. There's not much bad about living here in Bo, but you know what? In Washington, we do get a little bit of haze and smoke. Nothing like in eastern Washington right now. Oh man, fires are blazing over there. So the smoke from eastern Washington will sometimes drift over to this side, and that's kind of what you're seeing with the haze in the background. But most days, just beautiful views, blue sky, looking out over the bay. I love showing this property here today. This is like the epitome of Skagit Valley living, and I just can't think of much better places to build a home than this. If you are building anywhere in Bo or in Skagit Valley, remember these three things. What's the access like? What's water? And where are utilities? This property has all three of those. It's got the well, it's got great paved access, and you've got utilities right on the property. Oh, last thing to mention, it will require a septic system, but all these lots, the soil perks really easily up here, so you'll just put in a septic system. So if you want to know more about this property, you can reach me with the info below. And whether you're buying in 9 days or 90 days, if you're looking here in Bo, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to give you more info on the area, show you any other properties, and we'll see you at the next home, or in this case, maybe the next piece of land.